Welcome back to the Dave's Diary series of endless updates on the parallel arm. And that is what we're talking about right now. I just got interrupted by the courier, so I had to end the video and go and see him and extract the thing that I wanted. In fact, it was actually intended to be used here, believe it or not. It's actually, so I can get those out and show you. That's nothing important. Anyway, this is going to be video Dave's Diary update number 0338. How do I know that? Well, I've just loaded the other videos, and I said, if you want to see the results of those other videos, go to this one. So that's what we're about. And it's all to do with the process and the results of that process. Now, I've been able to get a very, very good outcome, which speaks highly of the process, or speaks well of the process. So, yippee, I've got the outcome I wanted. Well, yes, I did. And that was this rail and this rail accurately coming together and giving me the measurements I have demanded. But when I went to make this part of it, which I'll explain if I haven't already done so, but I'll explain more on that, the outcome wasn't exactly what I wanted. In fact, it was pretty bad. So the process was I had to mark some of these arms, or the material used for these arms, so that I can then mark with the bars, so they've got the bushing guides, so I could mark them and then take them to the drill press and drill them. I followed a very straightforward, simple, robust process, one that was easy to repeat, and I did all of the arms. I've done 4 of them, or might have been 5, but as you can see, I've numbered them 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's not important for this assembly, but it was for saying, well, this arm was marked relative to, this, they're all around the same way. So that's basically what I was doing. I had a couple of other arms that I chopped out this, the middle bit that would be number 2, so I could make this, link is 100 mils apart, and these ones here of 100 and 200. So that's why number 2 is missing. No rocket science there. And I put these in this place. Now, just going back to, I'd actually put the arms on, moved it backwards and forwards, checked the measurements, and I was very impressed. Very, very pleased, at least. So I thought I'd go a little bit further, because I'd already come up with the idea that maybe, just maybe, I can make an auxiliary part to the auxiliary tool. So, and it's worked very, very well. However, when I put this link on there, and that link in there, it was no longer making me happy. In fact, it kept the rails, these 2 pieces, out of parallel by quite a bit. And I thought, well, how is that even possible? Especially when I swapped them to this one, it worked perfectly. Now, just reiterating, I made this rail. Okay, it's 400, but these points were supposedly identical, etc. Everything was made the same. This gave me good results. This has given me good results, but this didn't. And I've tried other configurations which also don't give me good results. And I'm thinking, okay, so if the process was robust, I shouldn't have got these discrepancies. They just shouldn't. So it is currently working as per the theory, the geometry, all the rest of it. It's working really, really well. No gap here whatsoever, either in do it like that, no gap there. That is the way it should bloody well work. And I can't understand why when I use this. Well, I can understand why, but it shouldn't have occurred with that error. So, and in my defence, a little bit, I did say in one of the other videos, well, this is the process that should encourage other people, but I can also accept a little bit of luck coming my way. Well, luck and my closet engineer side of me says that is BS. You shouldn't have a good, robust, simple, easy to follow, easy to execute process and it give you these errant results. Now, I'm happy that I've lucked in, and that may be an aspect of don't give up, keep going until you get your combination of errors to eliminate themselves, because if an error is able to be created, if you do enough attempts, you might luck in and get it to disappear, because if you're inducing or introducing a process or error in the manufacture, maybe, just maybe, you could, it can counter itself. So that's where I'm going. I'm hoping that that is true. So yeah, the query that could come in is the quality of the cuts in the aluminium. To be fair, they're a little bit less certain than the melamine, but I was getting those errors anyway with the melamine or the MDF anyway. So yeah, a bit annoying. This one is likely to be video number Dave's Diary number 0338. The reason is because I'm just loading 3 more videos touching on this, and that's another, and I made comment to come to this one to see the outcome, and yeah, the warts and all type of commentary. I'd love just to do videos showing you how clever I am, but that was never the reason for it, and it's not the way I work anyway. But I really have to show you how stupid I can. Well, not stupid, no, sorry. How realistic this situation is, and sometimes we don't get the results we want. So, yeah, very annoying, I've got to say. Try as we might. But yeah, at the moment, I'm very, very happy with getting it right. Now, let's just go over the other side. This is the side I'd be standing on. By using these in this position means I restrict how much the arms will be able to move into. I lose about 50 millimeters of space. That's about what that is, 50 mil wide. But I've already gained 100 mil by putting the rail back an extra dog hole row. So I've effectively, by making a longer arm, moving that back, even with that compromise, I've still picked up an extra 50 millimeters. Plus that. So I get, even in my compromise position, a wee bit of a bonus through having this mechanism. So I've picked up an effective 100 mil more capability with one position of this base rail. Ideally, not ideally, but alternatively, I could have fixed the 2 movable rails together, and I'd actually contemplated that. If I need them to be held together, I can always put a clamp in there and clamp it into position so it can't move. At the moment, I don't need it because it really is tight. Now, the reason I wanted to do that was it gives me that fine tunability, but when I do that, it extends the rail back down this way, meaning that as I'm doing that, it's catching the material this way. So that's a good thing. I can put these at different positions. I can make this rail come down further, all of those things. But in this configuration, in these specific holes, it's close to 100% of my expectations as I could get. Now, Whether I've shown this in the past or not, I don't know, but I'm going to cover it off now. These arrows, this is the center of the movable rail, and that's where I had my adjustment pin previously. It would have been in there, but there was no hole back then in this rail here. One of them, that one. Excuse me. But rather than having it there, because as I would move it down, I'll just move that there. That would be down there. It's a long way away from this pivot point here, and what we wind up getting is some flexion in the rail at this point, just because of the the mechanism, the angles. So instead of having that adjustment down there, with this, getting rid of that, and where those arrows are, I'm considering putting an ordinary bolt, threaded insert in the side, so that these, when this comes down into position, this bolt against whatever spaces I need in here creates the adjustment and, yippee, makes it more rigid. So I can have here or here, wherever I wind up putting it, probably here. Here, I want to keep away from this pivot point, just for the chances of splitting the custom wood. But when we come down to these extremes, it actually takes the load and the flex away from this arm. Back here is fine. I can have it back here, it doesn't matter. I don't have to have it in the middle, but that makes sense. And there'll be one up the far end for those times that I use it in this configuration, well, be that configuration, for the dimensioning router. So I'll get the best of the parallel arm accessory, or extra, track saw, MFT top, dimensioning router. So there's a lot going on, and it's working. It's just puzzled why we're getting the error. It's just probably the realities of working in a non-engineering area, trying to achieve almost engineering grade results. So yeah, there's all of that. But at the moment, it's quite workable. The beauty is too, these don't have to be there. For the most part, I won't make use of that aspect of it, but it's there to be used. So yippee. I could just clamp it in place. I could screw it in place. I could do a lot of things. But the more I make the attempts to get rid of all the niggling issues and do these, make it more capable, the better it is. So yeah, I am very happy. There is now going to be an accessory eventually added to this to make something else that I need to make or be able to. And it just means slight tweaking and altering of things. Maybe, in fact, all that is a rod end, a bearinged rod end. The things that have just arrived in the courier. So I'll just put this down. And my standard comment is, no, this is not an unboxing video. I find that somewhat irksome, but that's just a personal thing. But hang on, let's just get them out. You can hear me trying to get them out of the bag before I throw the bag out. Hopefully with no rod end in it. Right, so they're certainly well wrapped. Hang on, I'll be with you. The idea being is that I wanted adjustability in. It's a good plastic as well. I wanted adjustability. Pick this up again, and these are just the small rod ends. Oh, there you go. And the idea there was, or is, to have them, let's just see, in a situation like that, with an 8mm rod. Hopefully I've got 8mm sent to me. With that, that can slip on top. And now I can make adjustments, and this rod end can act as a bushing and any tilt. If I decide, I can put them on in this direction as well to give me solely push-pull, and as things articulate round, the ball joint itself will do a lot of the work. Will I use them? Don't know. One idea was to have the adjustability locked in with some sort of mechanism here, so it's only the, how would you say, the yeah, that was an idea I had to push, pull, and act it. You'll get it. Will I use them now because everything else is working really well? Don't know. But the accessory that I'm going to be making may make use of them. And you keep on asking, but Dave, you keep on talking about the accessory, you know, the add-on. What is it? Well, you're going to have to wait. Anyway, there we go. Courier's been interrupted my first video, remade it. I've covered it off. This will be video number, Dave's Diary number 0338. Still puzzled why the links made in exactly the same manner and process as these ones. These ones give good results. Those ones give good results, yet these ones give bad results. I'll throw them in a bin somewhere, and there may be times when combinations of these will work. Or I throw them out and make sure that whatever I do, that's the only thing I keep around. But yeah, this may be able to be used in the next thing I make, which I'm not telling you about. Rightio, I will see you in the next one. Okay, bye now.